August 24th, and actually, sorry, it's the 25th, and it's Saturday. I went for a long walk, and I'm a little bit tired, but I'm sure my energy will bounce back. I wanted to make a couple of corrections on the video clip that I made yesterday. I said a couple things. One thing that I said was I had a book with illustrated photos, or illustrations, colored illustrations, and they were actually photos, colored photographs of the different rocks and gems and things. And the other correction I need to make is that I said I was self-employed with the Roses, the Rabbi Rose and Lorraine Rose. And I wasn't self-employed, but they were wanting me to take the burden of tax upon myself and to designate myself as self-employed. So that was part of the disagreement that I had and the problem that I had towards the end of my working with them. The other thing that happened that was a little unusual is the day that I left, the day that they gave me notice they didn't need me any longer, I was assaulted with military technology on the way out of their property. And I had some kind of a seizure. I had to go to their neighbor's house, and it sounds really disgusting, but I was drooling in the sink of this neighbor's house, the poor neighbor, because I think they were a little bit freaked out, like, what contagion is this woman bringing into my house? And, you know, I was short on words. I didn't have very much to say because I felt so sick. And I went right to their sink, asked for drink water, and then just leaned over their sink and was drooling. And I've been told a couple of times that happened, which I believe is also military triggered and not natural, is a form of seizure, like mini seizure. And because I never had any incidents of that until 1992, when I had them triggered a few times at the high school I was at, and then I never had them at all on the East Coast, and it was only confined to locations in Oregon. I feel that there's something different about that. So that is some of the stuff that's a little bit surrounding leaving, and there are other things, but I don't want to go into that now. And I have been postponing making this video clip all day because I kept thinking about how I'm going to talk about the rape and date rape that occurred, which affected me and how I was viewed by police, I think, and law enforcement, and others as well. And just wanting to avoid talking about that, and thinking and prayed a little bit, and it is something that's not really easy for me to just share with you publicly, especially on a video clip. It's something that I don't know, it feels very personal. I mean, it is personal. Most people wouldn't share that. But the reason I think I should is because I was prejudiced and had more migraines triggered after that occurred, and it really affected some of the way that I was viewed. And I also feel that it might help other women. I know that I'm not the only person who has been through this kind of a thing, and because I was so naive and about the law and about, sort of sensing intuitively that there was something wrong, and knowing that something wrong had occurred, but in some situations not exactly being able to put my finger on it or being able to define why it was wrong, or even knowing that there was a law that supported how I felt. I just feel that that was because as I was a little bit sheltered, and I spent most of my time in church. 3 to 4 days a week I was in church, singing, working with the youth, and helping out in the community. So, and I didn't party, drink, smoke, swear, watch R-rated movies, and, I had strict standards for who I wanted to marry, and even for how long I would date someone. So, I feel that even though I was older, and a lot of people probably assumed that I should have known, I really didn't understand a lot of worldly, quote-unquote, things. And that sort of put me in a position with the experience of maybe somebody who was 16, and maybe there are some women out there who are 16 or a little older, and this has happened to them, and they don't understand why it was wrong, and can't really put their finger on it. And I feel that if I do share, at least it might help a few women to feel validated. And I do consider myself to be a feminist. I think that I have lived the life of a feminist. I am single. I'm almost 38 years old, and I'm still single. I've tried only to be independent and sought for, my freedom and independence and ability to work productively. I've protested knowing that it would make a lot of men and women view me differently and look down on me. It's not very quote-unquote ladylike, and it's not feminine. It's standing out there with I had a sign in the ground. I didn't hold it. I felt that was I didn't really want to hold the sign and, pump my arm up and down and wave it and shout or anything like that, but it's more extreme. To protest as a woman is still a little bit out of the ordinary, even today. I feel that not only in that way, but I feel in other ways I have tried to live the life of a strong woman who supports other strong women, and I don't have a really low tolerance for, or I guess I should say, I don't get jealous of other women very easily. Actually, I'm really on the other opposite end of the spectrum. I think a beautiful woman, someone who's more beautiful than I am, or pretty and makes me pale in comparison, I think that's great, because I like looking at beautiful things. I like looking at beautiful art. I like looking at, and it's not all about beauty. There are people whose character is so beautiful that it shines through, and even if they're not very attractive on the outside, you just start to feel that they're a very beautiful person, man or woman. And as for accomplishments or riches or achievements, I don't have this internal motive for that necessarily for myself to fulfill my own needs or self-esteem. So maybe that's why I'm not necessarily jealous of those who are very successful either, because I think that's also great. And I think sometimes people on the very richest end of things really get, sometimes those who come by their money honestly are really targeted at times in the same way, or discriminated against, even like somebody who's very poor is. And the poor I very much sympathize with, because I've experienced being poor. I've experienced people putting me through extremely degrading situations and circumstances of just wandering aimless without any job or any work and just being tortured and researched for a few years. And that is really shocking to me because there's so much more that I could have done with my life, and I feel like it's taken from me. But despite all that, nobody has taken me of my has robbed me of my dignity, in the sense that, yes, I've been through extremely undignified situations, but I still believe in myself, in a sense, and that is because I know that God believes in me. And, I mean, I believe in God, but I know that I have faith that God sees all things, weighs all things, judges things, and I feel that we're okay.